Hey beloveds, Dr. Tad with your dailyish freebie. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I am also a breast cancer survivor, and I choose to highlight domestic violence because I just believe that we don't do it enough. And if we speak more about it, we can actually end this silent epidemic if we support those and show compassion and reserve our judgment. We can make a change together. Leave the assumptions alone. So this is part 3 of bits of my story. And we ended off with, I believe, bailing out my then husband, because it takes 7 times for a person to actually leave a domestic violent relationship. And I bailed him out for various reasons, for fear, for wanting to support. That was my husband, using scripture to keep me in harm's way. So I was planning to go to seminary, which I did. I did go to seminary in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were supposed to go together. So we went one summer. I was taking classes over the summer, and he came with me. And one day I was sitting in class, and I looked up, and I saw him looking into the classroom. So in my classroom, I think I had like 2 men sitting on each side of me. So when I got back to the apartment, he began accusing me of just foolishness because I was next to some men. And he got very physical. And I screamed and I begged for help. There were neighbors next to me who heard the violence happening, did not call the authorities. I don't blame them for not knocking on the door because, I don't want anyone to put themselves in harm's way. But they did nothing. My classmates, 2 classmates, did nothing. The next day, I went to class. I had a bruise on the side of my face because he slapped me really hard. No one said anything because it wasn't like obvious unless you were really staring at it, but I knew it was there because the shit hurt. So fast forward, we get through that and we're now in that cycle. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. We get back to New York and there was another incident where I called the police once again. This time when he was arrested, I did not bail him out. And actually, he was sent to Texas because evidently there was a warrant out for his arrest that I didn't know about. And he claimed not to know about it. But it was pretty weird because he was arrested before and they didn't keep him and extradite him to Texas then. So miracles happen, I guess. So he was sent to Texas. I relocated to Atlanta and I stayed on campus in a studio apartment. And I received a letter or a call, I don't remember, that my husband, because we were still married, I didn't start the divorce proceedings yet, a letter that my husband was being transferred to Atlanta because he put in for a transfer request because his wife was in Atlanta and they transferred him, despite having order of protection on file and clearly having a record they transferred him to Atlanta, the jail in Atlanta. And once he was released, he moved across the street from the campus in a halfway house. So my classmates rallied around me. I never went anywhere by myself. We circulated his picture all over. Security was on point. My professors were on point. My classmates were on point. Mother Carolyn was on point. And they kept me safe. I even, I was serving at a church, so I had to let the church know. I had to let the stewards know and the pastor, and we shared his picture with them, and we had armed security guards at the church because it was, a fairly large church, and some churches have to have security. So in Georgia, you can carry a gun, just carry a gun. So I carried a gun with me for my protection until I realized that I was carrying it for the wrong reasons. I wasn't necessarily carrying it to protect myself. I was carrying it because I wanted to kill him for what he did to me. So I ended up not having the gun anymore and moved off campus. I moved into a house that had a garage, so I kept my car in the garage until I could change my plates. Never traveled anywhere by myself, and I went to a domestic violence support group every Wednesday for a whole year. And the domestic violence support group, I had to take a taxi. We didn't have Ubers then. I'm dating myself. I had to take a taxi to this undisclosed location. The security guard would escort me to another area of the building to keep us safe because we were all in domestic violent relationships or trying to get out. So for a whole year, I learned more and more about domestic violence and what I needed to do to get out. And he would call my phone like 200 times a day. I ended up getting another phone and another phone number, but I kept that phone and kept all the messages. And then I would download them and record them on a little recorder because he would threaten me. Then it was emotional, and then it was threatening again, and how he was going to kill me. And I couldn't even go to my daughter's baby shower because we all lived in, Central Harlem at the time. So he knew about the baby shower, and he was like, yeah, I'll see you at the baby shower. And I was like, what? So I had to alarm, my family and let them know. And I didn't go to the baby shower for my safety and for her safety. So now I'm in Atlanta. No, I'm in Atlanta Metro now because I moved off campus. He's across the street from campus. And I'm in this domestic violence support group. I have an order of protection. And part 4, we'll talk about what happened in court, which will absolutely blow your mind. How I was treated and re-victimized and watched other people in the court for the same reasons be re-victimized and even threatened by their abuser who showed up to court. So thank you for listening. Please show grace and mercy to those who are in domestic violent relationships and learn more about it so we can speak up and speak out and end this horrible silent epidemic. This is Dr. Tad with your dailyish freebie. I'm out. Later.